Might actually have to put on a sweater, like, we might actually be getting into good weather. Alrighty. Let's start off. Man, I should have went to a mission, started off with, like right before a fight. That way, I could just get sucker fool. Sucker fool. Alright. Let's do this. Alright, you slot the optical chip into the computer's waiting chip jack. On the screen, Alice's office blossoms into view. A half-second later, a real-time simulation of Alice appears, seated behind her mahogany desk. Something about it reminds you of a figure from a wax museum, lifelike but dead inside. It greets you with a facsimile of Alice's joyless smile. Customer name Axelrod. Its voice is hollow, synthetic, an automaton masquerading as a living woman, one who you've never even met in the flesh. Count number 1012579. Greetings, valued customer. I am an offline simulacrum, however you're supposed to pronounce that, of the Alice persona. I've been included on this chip to answer any questions that you might have about your information purchase. Nifty piece of tech. Not now, Blitz. If you are ready to proceed, I will present Alice's findings. You may interrupt this presentation at any point by saying, "Alice, I have a question." We're ready. Let's get the show on the road. Very well, commencing presentation. The simulacrum goes rigid for a moment, then seems to relax. When it speaks, it sounds more natural, as though the real Alice is speaking through it. Alright, Axeron, I've got good news for you, and I've got bad news. Let's start with the good news. I found Beauclair, and he is alive. Thank God. The trail to your missing doctor was a long and slippery one. The fee that you paid me barely covered my costs for the job. I sent a team into the Sox on a fact-finding mission. I bribed government officials. I greased the palms of wage slaves at megacorps all across Europe. Each step I took eliminated possibilities, drew me a little bit closer, and finally I found the place where Beauclair is being held. The simulacrum makes a sweeping gesture with its right hand, and an image switchblades onto the screen, a grainy overhead photograph annotated with map coordinates. You recognize it immediately. This is where you'll find him. He is being held captive at a remote estate called Harfeld Manor. Gotta be kidding me. He was there the whole time? Glory says nothing. She just studies the photograph and nods. Okay, nobody tell me. I get it. This is something else that I missed. Alice, I have a question. The simulacrum hitches again, and you feel the life drain out of it. It looks up at you robotically. You have a question, alright? Please make your inquiry now. You said that Beauclair is being held at the estate. What evidence did you turn up to support that? One of my assets at Transys Neuronet provided me with a video feed dated 2053, or October. The feed was taken by a corporate surveillance drone, playback commencing. The screen is filled with a grainy black and white video feed. You recognize the Harfeld Manor, photographed from high above. The camera pushes in, and the image sharpens through a barred ground-level window. You can see the shape of a stooped, emaciated figure. His body shows clear sign of neglect. The figure is unmistakable. It's Beauclair, 20 years older and worse for wear. Bars. His skin hangs loose on his bones and his cheeks are hollow. There is a distinctly gray pallor to his skin. That's Vauclair, all right. What's left of him, anyway. Doesn't look like they've been feeding him much. Shakes his head. Poor bastard. Another figure steps into frame behind Vauclair, an orc. He turns his head slightly, and his skin grafts catch the light. Vauclair slowly turns to face Audran, and the video feed cuts out. The simulacrum stares at you impassively. Do you have another question? What else did you turn up about the Harfeld Manor? Seismological data and thermal imaging confirmed the existence of a large hollow chamber under the estate. It is my suspicion that Dr. Vauclair is being held somewhere within this substructure. If Fierschwings kept Vauclair trapped there for almost 20 years, she's gotta have reason for it. It takes effort and resources to lock a man away for that amount of time. So what's her endgame in all this? Why not just kill him and be done with it? Malice, revenge, who knows? Remember, this was the man that shot her down. He sent her crashing into a radioactive wasteland. If somebody did that to me, I'd want to hurt him too, and I'd make it last. I think it goes deeper than that. According to Winter's DVD, Vauclair designed the experimental weapon that shot her down, and that weapon split her body from her essence. Glory glances down at her own steel and chrome arms and suppresses a shudder. If I had to guess, I'd say that she's trying to make him fix whatever he did to her. That's what makes sense to me. Good theory there, or hypothesis. Glory, you know, you're thinking ahead of me. There's a moment of silence as the group processes Glory's suggestion. Before anyone can speak, the simulacrum cuts back in. No questions. Very well. Feel free to interrupt again with any future inquiries. Simulacrum pauses, and a brief tremor washes over its body. Its eyes flutter, and you hear the sounds of your computer working to process more of the chip's data. Iger turns to address the team. Vauclair is at Harfeld. We've got problems. The last time we broke into the place, they took Monica out. It was a miracle that any of you got out alive. Yeah, but now we know what's down there. This time, we'll be prepared for it. We can handle this. Iger shakes her head. No, it'll be even worse this time. The first time we went in, we had the element of surprise on our side. But now they'll be expecting us. They're hunting us, remember? Their security team is going to be waiting for us. Dietrich, that Audran bastard is going to be waiting for us. And even if we make it past them, we're going to have to deal with the dragon in the basement. Well, what else can we do? Cut and run? The last time I checked, that wasn't an option either. Even if it were, I wouldn't take it. I'm not running from this. Not after what they did here tonight. This last option. None of us are, Glory, but Iger's right. We can't just go charging in there, not without some kind of edge. The simulacrum jerks back to life. It resumes speaking, blissfully unaware of the conversation that it's cutting off. And now, Axelrod, on to the bad news. You know where Vauclair is, but rescuing him will not be possible. Alice, I have a question. He continues without waiting for a response. Why the heck not? In the course of my investigation, I encountered something terrifying in the Matrix. It was fast, cunning, and very definitely intelligent. I'm convinced that I only escaped because it let me go. It could have killed me in a heartbeat if it wanted to. This thing that I met is protecting the Harfeld Manor, and it's going after anyone who gets too close to what's happening there. Alice, what did you see in there? What is going after these people? By way of explanation, I would like you to read the following document. Simulacrum makes another sweeping gesture, and the menu slides back onto screen. This time, it is filled with text. What you are looking at is an archived forum discussion from the early days of the Shadowland BBS. Blitz stares at the text on the screen. It isn't kidding, Chief. This discussion is dated back to 2036. That's ancient history in the decking community. It probably isn't even correct to call these guys deckers. Hackers would be a more appropriate term. When you're finished reading it over, say, Alice, I'm done, and we can continue. Alright, as you lean in to read, the text slowly begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. You hear about the SK team that got crisped a few hours ago. A whole lab's worth of researchers, all burned and broken beyond recognition. Ugly stuff. At this point, who hasn't? Power spike got them right through their data jacks, like a bolt of lightning to the brain. A 1 in a million accident is what they're saying. Can you believe that? Got a more plausible explanation? Yes, actually. It was a cleanup operation. Color me intrigued. What were they cleaning up? A secret project that Loftweir didn't want anything to do with. You might have heard rumors about it. The project name was Apex. And you've lost me. Apex Clockwork? Seriously? That old line of Drek? I'm telling you, you jokers, Apex is real, or at least it was, until the Whizworm pulled the plug. Come on, Clockwork. We're still decades away from seeing a fully operational AI. You know that. Those Apex stories that have been floating around, they're just some conspiracy nut's wet dream. Fine, keep your heads in the sand. Some of us know the truth when we read it. Okay, Clock, I'll humor you, but riddle me this. If Loftweir had an armed and operational AI in its claws, why kill it? You remember what happened to most of Echo Mirage? The crash virus killed them, fried their brains, but I don't see what that has to do with anything. With the commercial release of the CDT-1000, some security firms are working on counter-intrusion software that could do the same thing. Black IC. You can look it up if you don't believe me. Well, scary stuff, man. Well, the goal of the Apex project was even scarier. IC wants you to come to it. Apex wouldn't be bound by those restrictions. It would go out hunting, hit its targets when they least expect it. That's why they called it Apex. It was designed to be the apex predator of the digital world. And so, rather than using it to his advantage, Loftweir decided to kill it in its cradle. The Whizworm's no fool. Some things are too dangerous to play around with. How would you put that genie back in the bottle if it ever slipped out of your control? Answer, you couldn't. And then it would take over the world. Okay, this thread has officially gone off the rails. I'm closing it down for the good of mankind. Captain Chaos, no, you suckle fool. Allison done. The simulacrum jerks back to life and settles into a neutral pose. There are no official records in the Satyr Krupp database to support the existence of the Apex project, but the thing that I encountered was Apex, of that I am certain. Just as I am certain that Apex was responsible for the deaths of Monica Schaefer, Green Winters, Clockwork, Peregrine, and a score of other Deckers over the last 16 years. Blitz raises his hand. Hold up, Alice, I have a question. I thought they said that Loftweir killed Apex. They speculated as much, yes. They were wrong on that count. I do believe that Satyr Krupp was developing Apex as a tool for Matrix warfare. I am also convinced that the IT personnel who were killed were the Apex development team. But I don't think that Loftweir was responsible for their deaths. Apex killed them. That'd be my guess, yes. In the turmoil surrounding Loftweir's buyout of Satyr Krupp, a number of projects went missing. I believe that Apex was appropriated by a member of Fierschwing's organization at this point. It was then unleashed on its own development team to silence them. Since then, it has provided information control for the Firewing. A pet AI would explain how Fiercewing has managed to maintain her conspiracy and avoid detection for the past 2 decades. Anytime anyone gets close, the AI takes them out and scrubs the record clean. So there's your bad news, Axelrod. Vauclair is being held at the Harfeld Manor, but knowing that does you no good because you can't approach the place. I doubt that you could even open the door without Apex frying you. We did last time. They were trying to protect their secret. Like Aldran said, if we hadn't gone down into the basement, they would have let us go. Apex didn't react to us until Monica attempted to force the door into the basement. And now that the cat's out of the bag, they have no reason not to pull out the big guns on sight. Dietrich grimaces. You're right, we can't go back while Apex is in place. The room falls into silence. Finally, Iger turns to you. What's the play, Axelrod? What's the play? Suggestions, please? Anybody else got any ideas? We can't turn back now. If Apex is standing between us and Vauclair, then we need to find a way to kill Apex. Suck a fool, boss. I'm in. Did you hear that, Alice? Do you have any suggestions? The simulacrum hitches again. The pause hitches, or stretches. Finally, it comes back to life. The AI has a kill switch, but Alice deemed any additional contact with Apex to be an unjustifiable risk. Attempting to reach the kill switch would be inadvisable. I'll be the judge of that. Alice, tell us about Apex's kill switch. The simulacrum stares at you with dead eyes. Thanks to my close encounter with the AI, I was able to run a trace on it. Through this trace, I discovered the physical address of a backdoor access point for Apex's programming. An old Saterkrupp research lab, long since abandoned and fallen into disrepair. The facility is now hotly contested gang territory. I have also determined that a kill switch for the AI exists somewhere in the basement of this facility. I will provide you with a physical address. I don't like the smell of this, Chief. It's said that Apex let Alice escape. He turns to address the simulacrum on screen. Alice, why would a Matrix Warfare AI allow you to run a trace on it? It stares straight ahead, its eyes are dead. Bars again? I'm afraid that the answer to that question falls outside the scope of my written parameters. The simulacrum stutters one final time, then looks up at you with an apologetic smile. You have now reached the end of this presentation. I have been encoded with a final message from Alice to Axelrod, playback commencing. The simulacrum's eyes go wide, and the life floods back into it. It stares directly at you. Axelrod, if you didn't listen to me before, listen to me now. Drop this. Stop going after Vauclair. Get out of Berlin and stay out of the Matrix. I'm telling you this for your own good. That's all I have to say. I'm following my own advice. I'm out. Don't try to contact me again. Simulacrum reverts to its idle state, slumping like a puppet with its strings cut. Its eyes glaze over and its face goes slack. Then the screen cuts to black. Bars again! It's insane. So the dragon has a killer AI in charge of security. Can't say I'm surprised, but then nothing surprises me anymore. We know what killed Monica, we have a name for it, and we know how to kill it. That's good enough for me. We know what we have to do. We can either stand around talking about it, or we can go do it. Alright, agreed. We shut down Apex, then we re-enter the estate and rescue Vauclair. He's the key to this whole thing. Sounds like a plan, boss. I still say that all this is crazy talk, Chief. Taking on an AI isn't just a bad idea, it's suicide. So my vote is to cut and run. Blitz surveys the rest of the group, sees the determination in their faces. Finally, he sighs. But if you're really doing this, you'll want the best decker you can find along for the ride. And I guess that nominates me. Woo. Alice said that the kill switch is located in some old SK facility. Assuming that the site was shut down sometime after the Apex project disappeared, it could have stood empty for years, maybe decades. She also said that the building was in gang territory now. I wonder if it'll be anything like Das Kesselhaus was. God, I hope not. There's only one way to find out. Let's get prepped. This thing isn't gonna kill itself. Blitz glances at you. The worry is painted all over his face. Can't believe I'm saying this, but you'd better bring me along. You try and go up against an AI without a Nova Hot Decker at your side, and you're probably gonna regret it. Iger begins her weapons check. Improvise, adapt, overcome. Whatever's there, we'll deal with it. First, we find our way into the basement. She peers through the scope of her sniper rifle, and then we kill the AI that killed Monica. Darn right. Team breaks to begin gearing up. As she slides a shell into her shotgun, Iger catches your eye. You did good out there defending the cruise baser. You've had our backs the entire way, made good decisions. Okay, I appreciate that. Now you need to forgive yourself. You weren't out of position, Iger, and you know it. Iger scowls at the floor. Thanks. Can't do it, but thanks. Come on, you two. We've got a job to get ready for. Can a brother get some money? Like, somebody pay me for something. Let's see. I need one of those. Let me get one of those. Remember where the... Oh, okay, I remember where that goes. Alrighty. Well, that's the information. Let's go ahead and save. I guess I'm still gonna save here. Also, hey, Minodran. Well, look who's back. The attack, it was terrible, Axeron. So much death. She shakes her head. I had not killed since I retired from running the shadows, not until today. But you're not here to listen to me complain. She forces a smile. So what can I get you? Name it. Yeah, now the new drones are popping on out. But I have no money. There's no way I can scrounge up that amount of money. Maybe if I sold both my drones, maybe that would not even be worth it. Got some new outfits. Ooh. See, now we're regretting the whole let's pay the 10,000 ourselves. Now we're regretting it. But I figured I would. It's fine. Massive spoiler. Sometime later, something's going to happen to someone at some place in some way for some reason. I wish I didn't know that. Now I've been spoiled. Alright, so I have no money, so there's really no point in trying to figure out everything that I need to do. At this point, I just need to get some money. Let's focus on that. Let's go bust up some suckers. Oh, we can bring Dante? Okay. I don't think I'll be bringing Dante, but you know what? If we had an extra slot, I think I would have brought you Dante. I think I would have done it. Honestly, it might be one of those things where I should replace Dietrich. Like, he's okay. You know, he's mostly there for me to cast haste, and that's about it. Surprised you're out of cash. Dragonfall is a lot more generous with New Yen than Shadowrun Hong Kong, I guess. I didn't play Hong Kong, unless you mean Shadowrun Returns. Or maybe you mean both. So I didn't talk to everybody, and so I didn't get all the I didn't do all of the missions, and I also didn't blow up a building for the most amount of money that I would have earned. I also decided to pay Alice 10,000 so that I wouldn't have to blow up a building. I know. Morality? For me? Come on. Who am I? I don't know. Alrighty. I don't have any more oh, that's what I needed to buy. Some resurrection stuffs. Alright, that's fine. Let's give some people some med kits here. Also out of granadas. Ponte's so strong though. I only got to use them once, but he seems pretty solid. A huge orc in ragged combat fatigues steps forward to meet you. He walks with the swollen bravado of a man who's used to getting what he wants. One of his meaty arms jerks up, hand held upright in the universal sign for stop. The other clutches a bulky assault rifle. The orc inspects you. His body language is decidedly unfriendly. You don't look like a magnifiker? I don't know. You're not one of us, and I'm guessing you ain't here for the hub either. So tell me, who are you? And what's your interest in this building? Business. Can't discuss it. I'm sure you understand. Yeah, sure, I get it. But see, this building, it's under arbiter protection. We can't just let you waltz in and shoot up the place. He smiles at you, revealing a mouth filled with jagged teeth. I'm sure you understand. I'm not planning on shooting anything. Not unless I have to. Yeah, well, I can't exactly take that at face value. Look, it'd be better for everyone if you just turned back. We don't want to fight you, but we can't risk letting an unknown player into this. He pauses for a moment to search for the right word. Situation right now. Maybe I can help you with your situation. Well, that puts a different spin on things. He pauses for a moment to consider. You look like you can handle yourself. We could probably use you, if you'd be willing to help. There'd even be some money in it for you. But if not, well, the assault rifle in his hand shifts position slightly. That's a different conversation. And what exactly do you want us to do? Iger's tone is neutral, her posture relaxed, but one of her hands casually comes to rest on the butt of her shotgun. Ulrich doesn't seem to notice. We're having some trouble with the local mage gang, the Magnifiekers. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. Magnifiekers. Go with that instead. The orc turns his head and spits. They attacked us without warning, took up in our building and kicked us out into the street. Me and my boys were the rightful protectors of this block, but the suckafoos that screwed us, they've got the building buttoned up pretty tight. Can't even get in. We can't get in there to make things right, but maybe you can. If you could enter the building and do some damage to those Drek-eating Magnifiekers, the Arbiters would be willing to pay you 200 new yen per kill. You bring me back their amulets, and you get paid. How's that sound? Iger raises an eyebrow. Your call, fearless leader. You know the timetable we're working on. Unfortunate. I do need the money. It's a deal. Good, yeah. I think this'll work. Iger gives you a small nod. Her hand falls away from the stock of her shotgun. You need anything else, or are you ready to go crack some skulls? Tell me about who I'm going up against. Gang of parasites. They think that their magical talents make them better than anyone else, but because of that, they feel entitled to take whatever they want. Up until recently, they've been content with pulling pranks and stealing purses, childish Drek, but they were basically harmless. Then their new leader took over, calls himself Trithemius. But I remember when he was just a skinny little prick named Yuri. He lets out a derisive snort. I should have kept a better eye on him, I guess. Should have stomped him flat when he started putting on airs. I still don't understand what putting on airs means. You know, they recited that in SpongeBob, and you know, I just don't get it. Would have saved everyone a heap of trouble. Trithemius took over the Magnifiekers, militarized them, and convinced them that they could take us. And thanks to the element of surprise, they actually managed to do it. The orc folds his arms across his burly chest. Any day now, we're going to show him exactly how bad an idea that was. I think I'll start by breaking Yuri's neck. Tell me about the building. You'll probably see some burnouts floating around the ground floor. They're all there for the hub. It's like some kind of church or something. A guy called Parson runs it. Between you and me, they're all crazy. Not dangerous, just nuts. Why'd you keep them around at all then? Because a lot of them are rich. They paid a direct load in rent, and we redistributed that wealth to the common man. Let me guess, you define yourselves as the common man. You see a tie around my neck, pal? Do I look like a corporate stooge to you? We are the friends of the people, and we are the people. Don't you dare question it. I need to get into the basement. Anything you can do that would help me out? Basement? What could you possibly want to go down there for? You wouldn't believe me if I told you. You'd be surprised what I'll believe. Try me. Alright, I need to stop a killer AI so that I can rescue an elderly scientist from a ghost dragon. The future of Berlin could be at stake. You're right, I don't believe you. You're either lying or you're crazy, but crazy has its uses. Alright, I'll get you into that basement, but it'll cost you. Yeah, of course it will. Dietrich sneers. Another Bush League extortionist trying to milk us for cash. You got the wrong idea. I don't need Nuyen, friend. What I need is Trithemius. I'm never going to pronounce that the same way twice. I need his head on a platter. Problem is, he's holed up somewhere in the building, and we don't know where. Best guess, he's hiding somewhere upstairs in a room with no exterior windows. Somewhere, probably someplace close. He stashed the power coupling for the elevator. He pulled it to keep us from getting access to the guns we stashed in the basement. So, you find and kill Mr. Trithemius, grab the coupling out of his apartment, bring me that stupid amulet he's always wearing, so I'll know he's dead. He cracks a grin. Then I'll give you the control chip that I pulled when we had to fall back. Slot them both back into the elevator, and it'll take you straight to the basement. I am I am contemplating just killing this guy right now. Generally, in these types of situations, there is more to the story. And you know what's more advantageous than just participating in a gang war is stopping all gang war by murdering everybody. Unfortunately, we don't really gain any benefit from doing that, so I'll see what I can do. Actually, there's a lie right here. I'm gonna lie. I'm gonna lie. Good, just remember, no amulet, no basement. Now go on through and show that little prick what it means to screw with the arbiters. Buckle. Try to lift a few times a week. Thanks for noticing. The attendant behind the counter is an uncommonly fine-featured dwarf with a beatific smile. A yellow ID tag pinned on his chest announces his name in large blocky letters, Arson. He nods at you and raises a hand in greeting. Welcome to the hub, brother. Are you here to share in the splendor of the communion? So, I can show you to an empty terminal. Some questions for you about the local gang activity. He nods. We do seem to have more than our fair share. Very well, I'll answer your questions. Tell me about these magnifier guys that let's call them magnifiers. Power drunk fools, a lot of them. The Arbiters were bad enough, but the Magnifiers are even worse. The Arbiters' interests were limited to theft and violence in the name of their cause. Magnifiers, they have power, and they seem to relish in abusing it. Now that they've claimed the upper levels of the building, it isn't safe to travel beyond the ground floor. Several members of our congregation have been mauled to death by the Magnifier's pet spirits. He shakes his head sadly. Now we travel only in groups. You're safe down here, though. Yes, Trithemius needs the hub. To threaten this congregation would be to jeopardize his primary source of income. But the upper floors enjoy no such protection. They have become dangerous places to travel. Can you tell me about the Arbiters? Marson lets out a heavy sigh. A pack of snarling animals dressed up as a poly club. I'd steer clear of them if I were you. Their ideology is loosely based on neo-communist movements from the past. In truth, I think that they just copied a few pages from an old Red Army faction handbill without ever bothering to learn what they meant. For all their rhetoric, the Arbiters are just another street gang. They shout for the sake of shouting. There's no real conviction there. If you came from outside, you've probably bumped into their leader, a huge orc who calls himself Ulrich. He can seem reasonable, but I'd give him a wide berth. One more note. If I were you, I'd avoid being seen with the Magnifiers. The Arbiters take shots at members of the Mage Gang whenever they see them. If you're not careful, you could find yourself caught in the crossfire. Trithemius, where's he at? Smile fades from Parsons' face. Trithemius is a dangerous man. Why do you ask? I have business with him. Private business. He studies your face for a moment, then nods. Fair enough. Trithemius is almost certainly upstairs, hidden away from the outside world. Wouldn't advise going after him, but if your mind is made up, I suppose that I can't change it. Yes, I can tell you how to find him, but I will need something from you in return. Yeah, of course you will. Saw that coming. Blitz sighs. Tell us what you need. A pair of squatters on the second floor ripped the guts out of one of my terminals. They have taken the data jack signal converter, and the terminal will be out of commission until I get it back. A single damaged terminal may not sound like much, but trust me, the entire experience of communion has been diminished by this act of vandalism. I believe that I know the squatters responsible. Their leader's name is Jeanette. She is a decker of some skill. I don't know what she has planned for my parts, but I do know that this situation will not stand. I cannot allow another terminal to be damaged. So you want us to deal with them for you? Yes, but not with violence. I want you to talk with them and convince them to bring me back my components. Do this, and I'll tell you how to get Trithemius. Sounds straightforward enough. Excellent. It's a deal then. Alright, I'll consider it. What's up, Carl? Man behind the counter looks tired. His lids are heavy and his eyes are bloodshot. Welcome to Carl's General Store. Let's see your inventory. Here we go. Oh my gosh, that's like all my money. Yeah, that's all my money, player. Are your prices... Do you have too much? Do you charge too much? I feel like you charge too much. I'm determining that you charge too much. Therefore, you're fired. It looks like the walls gave way. They took the roof with them. Our hallway is blocked with debris. Debris. I don't know how you get debris from debris, but you know. We go with debris. I should probably save. We are gonna be scrapping. Because there's no way I can convince these people. Okay. Definitely do not enjoy walking in to get bodied like that. Thankfully I have you along. See what's going on in here. You're a healer? I don't like the idea of fighting this many mages. Let's see here. What is this? Target loses their cover bonus for the rest of the turn. Really? Oh, you're not the robot. Whoops. I thought you were the robot. Sucker. Okay, this costs 1 now. Means I can go over here. What are you aiming at, dog? Come on. Here. Come on. Kill this sucker, thank you. You can move closer. Shotgun to the face. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's go with you. Alright, that was rough. Book. Oh. Fancy. They shot at me first, by the way. You know, I might not have killed them. You know, they treated me with some respect. Respeto. Filthy drawers. Stage. Union speaks and we listen. Give yourself willingly join something. Union flourish stuff. Paper. Shark Tank. Scribble on it. I actually like the show Shark Tank. You know, it's they can be suckafoo sometimes, but it's a fairly enjoyable show to watch. And I did see some people in here. Bronze. A group of metahumans huddles together, their eyes wide with terror. Many of them have scrapes and bruises, and a few have more serious injuries. Their clothes are tattered and stained. At your approach, a disheveled-looking middle-aged man steps forward, placing himself between you and the main group. His gray hair is badly matted, and a pair of battered reading glasses hang from the bridge of his nose. Who are you, may I ask? And what are you doing here? Nobody important, just passing through. Who are you? My name is Franz. These are my friends and my wife. We live together. Well, we used to live together up on the 3rd floor. Do you know anything about the hackers over by the stairs? Janet, you mean? Of course we know her. She and her bitheads control the only matrix hookup in this dump. Thankfully, she allows us to use her uplink. It's only by her generosity that we've been able to provide for ourselves at all. And she's kept us from having to rely on Parson and his wacko religion, thank God. He leans toward you and lowers his voice. By the way, friend, you don't want to plug in with those communion drones. I've seen it too many times. People jack into the hub, and when they come back out, they're different. It's creepy. It's wrong. What do you mean different? Maybe detached is a better word? I've seen all kinds of people jack into the hub, but only one type comes back out, quiet, subdued, disinterested in anything other than their beloved communion. I don't know what happens to them in there, but they're somehow less alive when they come back out. Makes my skin crawl. Do you know the password to the door? Yeah, I do. If you help us, I'll tell you. What kind of help do you need? What we need to do is get back home to our apartment on the next floor, but we can't do that while those spirits that the magnifiers summoned are terrorizing the place. Take care of them. If you clear the path for us to return home, I'll give you the password that you'll need to speak with Janet. A little something for the effort. Money, we don't have much. He looks away, uncertainty in his eyes. But I have managed to put a little away. I was hoping to surprise my wife with it. Hey. No, you're right. We can't ask you to risk yourself without some kind of compensation. He pulls a battered cred stick out of his pocket and presses it into your hands. Here, take it. Just please make our home safe again. Do you know where the magnifier hideout is? Can't help you there. We used to see a lot of the magnifiers up on the 3rd floor, but I never wanted to get too close to them. You want to know where the hideout is? I'd ask Parson, or maybe step outside and ask Ulrich. Not that you're likely to get far with either of those nutcases. Thanks. Alright. Little bit of money for my troubles. Thank you very much. You know, I'm gonna have to clear out those spirits anyway, so, you know. Just make it easier for me. Go ahead and save and mark.